I think it worked, and I think we're live. Like where we
Yay!
need to be. I think everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, whoop whoop, that's good.
All right,
Um,
fantastic.
and I even went to the store this morning because I was like,
Um,
oh my gosh, I don't even know where all my Halloween stuff is because since moving to Tennessee, I'm in love with fall, and we don't get trick or treaters in cow land
right.
anymore.
You did one step better than me. We don't get any trick-or-treaters in a 55 and over
No,
community, so I'm a little slow to the Halloween
I'm
stuff.
surprised they don't knock on the doors giving loofahs.
Yeah, exactly, right? But I will say everybody still decorates around here, so it's kind of funny, but I mean, good for them. I didn't, but it's still fun.
Yeah, my husband never did our last mow of the season, so I was waiting for that. I mean, I had a ton of blow-ups in Florida, and I do have two smaller kids next door, so I usually will put them up for them. But
Right.
he never did that, and then I went away, and I was like, well, I'm not doing it now. They're just staying in their boxes. I just bought them, and I'll do it for like a trunk or treat or Jeep or treat or whatever they do. I have everything that matches my Jeep's thing, and I love fall. So I know you've had many falls. Now you don't,
Now
but
I
now I
don't.
do.
Good for you. We'll
And
switch
I
places
love
for a while.
fall. So we do have some people watching right now, and definitely it's our first time doing live. Holly and I, when I think it was when Remax decided to shut down the broker, owner, manager, kind of admin trainer group. I was kind of sad about that because I've been running kvCORE for a very long time. And I know when I had first got started, like we had a lead team. So that platform was specifically for running thousands of dollars on pay-per-click with our lenders and stuff.
Mhm.
Um, it would have been so nice to have a safe spot to be able to talk kind of broker to broker manager, just not, I know we have like the tech and tools. There's lots of agent focused groups, but there's nothing specific for brokers. And I know we're trying to just share what we can. There's a lot of people in the process of onboarding. A lot of people
Mhm.
still haven't been able to kind of grasp just the whole system itself. I think this is an amazing platform, but there are more tools than I think anybody will ever use. It's just a matter of honing in and finding what works for you, what works for your agent, your office, and just a safe place to bounce different ideas with other brokers. Because some brokers have been using kvCORE independently for years and years, and they have so much insight to offer and help us that are newer or anything like that. So that's really why we decided, well, I still think that a group would be a good idea for all of us to be able to collaborate and help each other through this entire process. So that's what we're here for. I think we're just going to kind of, with our introductions, Holly, definitely tell us about you and everything. Maybe some basics, maybe some of the top questions we get on that broker level, the agent level all the time, some tips, resources, and definitely if you have questions, please, put them in the comments on the live feed so we can address them, answer them, all of that fun stuff. So Holly, tell us about yourself.
Great. And I think too, if you have ideas of things that are coming up that you would like Heather and I to put together a little quick class or something like that, we'd be, happy to do that too. But my name's Holly Fogel, and I have been with Remax in like so many different roles over the last 23 years. So I'm coming up on my 23rd year. Joined right at the end of 1999 as a realtor. So I was in the realtor mode for 11 years. And all the while that I was selling, I also had a hidden passion that I didn't know existed. And that really was for the training and for, coaching. I started with Buffini back in early 2003, became a mentor there. So I kind of always had one foot on one side of the sales and one foot, on the coaching and just helping other agents as I was getting in the business. I had never been in sales. I was in a computer technology and management, business management role. So flipping over to sales was very new to me. I had no idea how unskilled and how difficult sales and real estate was when I first got in. So I've learned a lot over these last 23 years, and my passion has been helping other people leverage the tools that we have to help ourselves, just get better. So over the last 9 years, I did start the 1 Hour Coach, which is my own coaching company. I'm still affiliated with a RE/MAX office in Georgia. And that gives me that great insight into still use all of the tools, I think very similar to Heather, that I still have all the access that all the agents do. So I continue to help agents leverage RE/MAX and every tool. When we moved over to kvCORE, it was great that Heather already had been using it. I hadn't. I was kind of a Holly Lead Street Fogel, as many of you may remember. That was how I first got on Facebook, actually. I wasn't even on Facebook until David Teefee asked me to join. And so I was real passionate about Lead Street, and I thought it had a lot to offer if you understood how to leverage it. And when we made the transition to kvCORE, I dove right in because I knew that this was a much more robust platform with a lot of the automations that we never had in Lead Street. I'll never really put down Lead Street because I was able to actually help a lot of people do a lot of great things with it. But I will say this is on a completely such a higher level. And like Heather said, there's so many things that people may never even utilize in here, and that's okay. But for the person that wants to put their toe in with just their referral business, for the person that wants to jump all in and understands, maybe has been on another platform similar to this, like Boomtown or Sync, where there is a lot of lead generating opportunities and a lot of automations behind the scenes, it's going to appeal to every level. And I never really could understand how anyone that wanted to be successful for the long haul could do that without some type of CRM anyway. And this one, coupled with your website to have that two-way functionality, which we did have with Lead Street, but it was a little bit clunkier. To me, this is just golden. And I've only been in since January, so I still have a lot to learn, but I have helped a lot of people already break through and have amazing results with this platform. And it's about 5 to 8 hours. I don't know what you think, Heather, but I've found between that 5 and 8 hour time frame that people give it focused energy, not in one sitting. I'm saying just getting in here, playing, clicking, doing. That's where I'm seeing people start to get excited. And the learning curve starts to, you're not going to get it in one day. If you have that expectation, I'm sorry, that's not the expectation that you should have. So I'm thrilled to be part of this group with Heather, helping, other admin people and brokers and managers bring along the people below us that if we get the adoption that I think people should do, I think they're just going to have tremendous results. So I'm thrilled to be a part of this.
Yeah, I think no matter what platform they were coming from, if they were within, and even those that are paying for kvCORE, paying for Boomtown, paying for Real Geeks, paying for Chime, like whatever it may be, this, even when I had kvCORE independently, we did not have everything that we have right now. We did not have the team module. We did not have the core social design center, core present. Like we didn't have it, half of the stuff. And we were still paying a lot of money every month just for the basic of the platform. So I was super excited being able to dive into all of these other tools that we now have. And I believe, do you know when the independent regions get their design center? I want to say it was
December 1st. Yeah, December 1st, I believe.
Okay. And then I also saw, I'm seeing the new templates in the dashboards, but they're not live yet. And there were a couple offices that actually could use all of the templates, like for some reason or another, they had all the templates and we could use them. So I always had like a sneak peek, like, yes, because right now we only have that RE/MAX template and I'm used to the hero and the different things that we can do. And I like all the other ones in there as well. So I'm not sure when those actually go live. I think it was supposed to be the end of the month. I see them in there, but nothing happens right now. So if you are playing with your website and you're clicking on all those templates and nothing's happening, whatever design you have already done, when you click on that, it will ask you like, get rid of all my customization, all those widgets, or keep them. So, I mean, it's super easy for us to be able to change that out. I'm happy on an agent level because I'm not fond of that big broker box with the office photo that I don't, even if it's pretty on in your profile in Mac Center, like it just appears cold and grainy and ugly. I think it could be like all the way down at the bottom. I hate that it's so far up.
Right.
But so I'll be happy when the new templates come and that kind of goes away for us. The biggest thing I have found onboarding like 7 Remax offices is almost having the accountability. I know I've uploaded like in the file section of the group, different ways that, just tackle one thing at a time and maybe once a week. And then I like doing competitions, just like Holly, whether it be Buffini or, Tom Ferry, Craig Proctor, like whoever it was. I find doing accountability with homework to get the agents even somewhat excited about it and to participate in the learning process has helped a lot, just with the process, because there are more tools than any of the agents, but the agents need to know which ones are going to complement their business so that they can dive into that more. And I know in the Tech and Tools group, I've been doing live like once a month training, and I kind of started like you're live, where do I start? All the way to, I believe next month is basically what I use on a broker and agent level. I use the squeeze page links because now I can only say, after using kvCORE for many years, and I'm sure those that also use kvCORE, if I can have everyone labeled with a hashtag as they're entering my system, it will become your gold mine in a year. I mean, the listing playbooks, everything else, it just makes a huge difference because we want everyone kind of organized as they enter. And then in a year, everyone will be like, thank you. I'm so glad I listened to you.
Yeah. And I think it was Buffini, they used to say that. And, if you start today, in a year, you'll be happy that you did. It's like time's going to go by, whether you're doing anything worthwhile or not. So you may as well do stuff that's helping you.
And this is a good question. So if a broker changes the template, it should trickle down to the agent. Anything that we do on that broker level, the agents inherit, except for the parts that the agents have already messed with. So say I put a video header, the video is what is actually being inherited down on the agent level. I'm not sure why photos aren't, they're supposed to, but for some reason they're not. So on a broker level, I pretty much I go into Canva, even if it's just photos or videos, like Canva has a ton of videos. So you can even just have 12 photos that you can save as an MP4, upload, unlisted on YouTube, and use that link. I like to use the videos only because for some reason, the standard default graphic, I work with mostly Florida offices, and it does not fit Florida. Like, I wish they would have just said the living, that kitchen. It's a beautiful kitchen photo. Let's make that the default. It'll pretty much work for 99.999% of everybody. But they didn't. They chose this Boston fall neighborhood looking thing that does not match Florida whatsoever. No palm trees or anything. So I like to use a video header. But if an agent goes in there and they upload their own photo and remove that YouTube video, anything I do on the office level, change out that video, it will not be inherited by the agent because they've already made the changes. If they've already changed all their templates or anything like that, they won't inherit any changes we do on that broker level. So the agent sites inherit that broker level, except for anything that they've already modified. And then that breaks that thing, the new template. So they should. It's not live yet, but that will be the first thing I do because I'm not fond of that office building. To me, it just feels really cold. Most of the offices I work with, they're really big, like Children's Miracle Network. So we have, that Children's Miracle Network graphic in that spot. Just because to me, at least that shows community involvement. So I will let you guys know, but I'm in the websites every day on multiple accounts, and every couple hours, I'm like, will it work? Will it work this time? And it's not. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's November 1st, but we all see them. So we know it's there. I do, because another office in, Remax Town and Country, they've had it. Like, there's been a couple offices. So I was like forever ago able to really change the template of an agent site and I have like a template teaser of what sites will look like when they're on there. What I like the most is the navigation bar. Right now it's not full length. And then on the different devices, if you have a lot of navigational tabs, it creeps over into your secondary logo, and then it wraps and looks weird. All the other templates, they're full length. And it doesn't look weird. It won't go into the logo and stuff. So I'm excited. I'm excited about the new templates. You have no idea. Those that know me know I'm very excited about this because I've been like, when is it happening?
Yeah. And it's good because you're such a great resource on the website stuff. And so, people just need to know that they can take advantage of your services on that, because you've really been able to get people going exactly where they want to go. And, I know I had sent a gal from Florida to you, and she just could not say enough great things about the meeting that you had and how you were able to really, that was Cindy, clarify a lot of things for her. So I really thank you for that and for having those consultations and offering that service. It's not in my wheelhouse. I can do the basics, and I'm happy to help folks with just getting the initial setup. But I kind of dive more into the, how do we use it? How do we, go from the day to day? What does a day in the life look like of using this platform? And that's really my expertise, along with lead conversion. So that's kind of my wheelhouse. And I love that you have all the content and you know how to do all that stuff. It's just not my wheelhouse. So I think we complement each other good, because you can figure out how to make it good, look good, and I'll show you how to convert leads and how to use it. So
and the system is pretty great in the conversion. As far as, some people are absolutely horrified of the whole AI intelligence and the drip campaigns and stuff like that. For me, I'm not huge into like just generic online leads without like a purpose or something. And it's to me, it's like having your own inside sales agent, really just trying to convert and really just kind of get rid of like the looky-loos, just wanting to look, versus the people that are really more serious in buying. And I know one of, like, it was a funny story, and it was way back when I had an agent. She was not happy because, the behavioral alerts, because there's the smart campaigns, the drips, but then there's also behavior automation. So two separate things. And there's not a ton of the behavior. It's just based on what they're doing on the activity on your website. So I think this person, looked at this property 5 times or something in a matter of days. So they got a text, asking if they wanted to go see the property. I have time this weekend, whatnot. Do you want to go see it? And it's really just, everything that it's doing, it's trying to prompt, ask questions, get them involved so you can have that conversation. And then they move out of that aggressive, campaign. But that's what it did. And at the time, we're in Florida, we were all like boarding up our windows because a hurricane's about to hit. So the agent got so embarrassed because the person responded like, how are we going to go see it? Like, aren't you guys like have a hurricane coming in the next day or two? So she was mortified, embarrassed. And I was like, look, it's your assistant. You forgot to tell them not to do what they're supposed to do. Like, they have their script, what they're supposed to be doing. It's your assistant. It's doing their job. And you forgot to tell them, wait, I can't show property because we're getting ready for a hurricane. And you know what? They ended up flying in a week and a half later, and they bought the property. So it works. I feel like we almost have to embrace the help and support, because working online leads can take a lot of time out of our business. And to me, the system allows us to focus on income producing activities and let the inside sales agent kind of do what they want. I also love that we can tweak, we can edit, we can even create our own, video. I have a lot of agents, they want to do kind of like a welcome email video. And they can do that because you can use that advanced editor, just do a little 20-second, video introducing who you are, thanking them for visiting your website. If they have any questions on the area or need a resources or anything like that, to reach out. But you can set that up in all of those automations. You just, put it on YouTube unlisted, put it in the email, and set it up on the campaigns. So I think there's a lot of things that agents can do. I will let you touch on the most top, I don't even want to say question, because I don't feel it's a question. I feel is the most confusing part of the entire system, which is the smart numbers. So I'll let you touch base, and then I figured I would kind of show examples on what I love about them and how you can excite your agents on them. But they are the most confusing part, I think, of everything. And I even just got an email today because agents are calling it because they see it. Like, what is this? It's not my phone number. What are we doing? And I'm like, well, now they just took your lead spot. You know?
Right. And I think too, it's important, and you could probably help me on this because I'm still going through, full understanding of it. And I think that's the thing that my Remax contact told me. Don't try to understand it at this point. Just know what to do with it. And once you see it in action, you'll be able to understand it on a whole different level. And he was so right. But when folks go in and they see that smart number, what they all need to understand is that the best way I can figure out at this point to explain it is it's like an answering service. It's like the front desk alerting you from an office number that, hey, I'm connecting this person to you. And once you get that connection, that person is always connected to you. But you don't even have to display that on your website. Like, everyone thinks that that's the only number that people have for you. Absolutely not. And that's another thing, Heather, that maybe you can touch on too. Their website never even has to have that smart number anywhere.
No, correct? I think the only time that number will display on anything on an agent level is if inside of their MaxCenter profile, a lot of agents had their cell phone number under the direct drop down. Right. They need to make sure that changes, or in addition to make sure the mobile cell has their actual cell phone number, and usually the first tip of this is when they go onto their dashboard and they click that download mobile app and they say, text me, and they don't get the text. That's my number one clue. What is in your profile? I also noticed in the reports and the market reports that get emailed, it'll have, and the same thing with Core Present, it'll have that smart number because there's no cell phone number to pull from because it's pulling from the cell spot inside of their MaxCenter account. So definitely make sure the cell phone number is listed under the mobile cell dropdown in their profile. Also know anytime you make a change in your profile, it is not immediate. Right. I mean, it can take a couple hours. Sometimes it's 10 minutes. I think they only sync that information a couple times a day. I just made that up, but that's, based on the amount of times I've changed it. That's what it seemed like. So that's usually my first clue. That's the only time the smart number will show up on the agent website. When I'm setting up a brokerage or a team, I always turn that off because I mean, having kvCORE forever, it was so confusing to agents because when I used kvCORE, it was specifically for our lead team. So I didn't do all the SEO. I didn't blog. I didn't do any of that stuff, only because we had a whole other website for that, for all the agents. But I don't like, people would still find the website, just people Googling us, and they would call the number and they'd be like, oh, I think you have one of your signs on XYZ, 123 Main Street. And I don't want my agents getting generic calls that my front desk needs to be handling. So right. I choose not to display the smart number just because I don't want them acting as, I want them focused on their leads, their business. They don't need to be my answering service at my front desk. So I always display my office number on my brokerage website. That's just my choice, only just based on experience, because that also takes that agent's lead rotation spot. When it's, another agent in the office, or it's a, property management call, or some, just a generic call, or a lender, or, whatever it may be, just trying to find the front desk and they're getting one of my agents. So I chose not to display that number, but that is in your broker or team leader. You both have that option inside of your settings to display or not display that smart number on your website.
Yeah. So, and I think that most of the leads that come in nowadays are coming from them registering. So it's coming in as an email or a text anyway. if you really look at, I mean, if we track the calls at our front desk, how many, you know what I mean? How many calls do you come in? It's like, I'm calling on this property. Most everything has moved to the internet for the most part. I'm not going to say 100%, obviously, but I think most of the phone traffic of people calling in on things has shifted anyway. So I think the biggest thing on the smart number is to understand that if you're utilizing the system, so if you go into the mobile app and you're making a phone call from the mobile app, it's going to be using your smart number. If you go in and you want to send a text, it will give you the option. Do you want to use your cell phone or do you want to use the smart number? If you're using the desktop version and you're clicking on the little button in the contact record that says text now, or you create a campaign, those campaigns have to use the smart number because it's on the computer and they have to be fully compliant. And we have to be careful about our mass texting and our mass emailing so that we remain compliant with inside real estate. You know, a lot of people don't realize how monitored those campaigns are. So if they start getting 150 stops where people keep saying stop and unsubscribe, that's going to impact inside real estate's ability to use that. So we have to be really careful on you're not going to start sending out mass emails and texts to 10,000 people.
And then I noticed 2 weeks ago, now when you click that mass email, now you have that pop-up box, even though I've been doing newsletters and all this for a long time, it just popped up. So it's a new thing because so many agents use the program. They do, like, if they were to get blacklisted, that's going to impact every single agent, every campaign, everything that's done in the system. So they do want you to fill out a form. What do you plan on using the mass emails for? I pretty much do like holidays, newsletters, anything like that, because that's really when the mass email part happens. But fill out that form. I think they say it takes 2 days to get that approval. I mean, I haven't had any problems since then doing that, but they just implemented that. I just remember 2 Fridays ago, I went to go do that. And I was like, what is this? Like, what's going on? But it's really for the integrity of the entire system and the amount of agents that are using it. So it's not a bad thing. But if you do plan on sending, today's Halloween, so hopefully you didn't wait till today to be able to do that. But there's a lot of different holidays going out. But make sure if your agents are wanting to do that, they know, like, just fill out that form. It's okay. I haven't had to fill it out again, and I'm sending those out. I wanted to show what I love about the text numbers. So I'll share this really quick, is the text codes. Agents can create unlimited text codes, and it is first come, first serve. Each office location has its own smart number. This is what I love these for. So I personally love it so much, I would buy my own for $27 a month. Otherwise, it's first come, first serve. So if I go in and I set up by me, I'm also going to set up by space me just in case, so another agent can't take it. And I can have them text my smart number. You can actually create. So this is actually a sign writer, like a custom sign writer. I love that because now I can have custom sign writers like, Heather 1, Heather 2, Info 1, Info 2, Info 3. Go to my local sign shop, have custom sign writers made. Now I can go into the system, create it, attach it to an MLS, go put it on my sign. Now when that one, I have a new listing down the street. I love it. It's going to be tagged with that address. I get to put in what hashtag I want. So I do 123 Main Street. I'm going to put it on that sign. Well, that one's under contract, but I just got, the neighbor down the street, 865 Main Street. Now I'm going to go in the system, change that. So now by me is going to 865 Main Street. I'm going to go move that sign writer over. Now I can even mass email every lead that generated from 123 Main Street using my listing playbook. I'll be able to go in and mass email everyone that generated, that had scanned the code or texted in. I'm going to be able to say, hey, you missed out on 123 Main Street. I just listed their neighbor's home, doing an open house this weekend at 865. Come check it out. Here's the information. I love because you're organizing them as they're funneling in, and you can do that with a text code. The number one complaint agents have is my lead doesn't have a real phone number. Well, they're going to have an accurate phone number when they're texting codes. So you can set up all sorts of different things. You can't even put it on your sign. I personally like doing it on the sign writer because most of us have like sign companies that have all the signs in the garage, and I have no idea which one they're putting out there. So I like having my own, and then I can move it as I need to, since I'm going to be going over to the property, and I can, kind of customize it, do whatever I want. So I do like having my own. Another thing is you can use it for social, for your flyers, open house flyers, whatever it may be. You can still use those text codes for that specific property. It's just helping you get accurate phone numbers for anything that you're doing. Postcards, absolutely love this one, and I can't zoom it in more. Yep, and that just took it away, so I won't do that. So this, I actually use text codes. So it was text home value to my smart number that took them directly to my sell page, the landing page on our website. So they put in their address. I used the QR code, and I also used the Remax URL shortener for squeeze pages I created for where this, we use the Everdoor Direct to mass email these neighborhoods, because that I'm using over and over again for the neighborhoods I farm. So that's what we did for this one. And it happened to be summer. So we had pool homes, you could have new construction, vacant land, whatever it may be. I can repurpose that URL over and over and over again for multiple different avenues, whether I'm posting it to social, putting it on snail mail, on postcards, I can track it. And I love basically taking those long squeeze page links and using the Remax URL shortener because I get tracking in different ways. And you can, now they even have the QR code that you can get straight from Remax within the URL shortener. So I love this. And it's giving you the ability to see what resonates with that specific area. Are they scanning QR codes? Now everybody knows how to use a QR code. Back when we did this, that was back when, in Florida, you're probably getting people that said something's wrong with your printer. It's all squiggly lines. I don't know what it is. Now everybody knows what these are. So it works. Use the squeeze pages, going to different subdivisions, then go into that Remax URL shortener, make it look nice and sweet. So I love that on a postcard, but you can still do that on any of the mailings and stuff like that you have. But think outside the box. So it can be going to a specific property. It could be going to a specific search, because you can set up those text codes to go to an MLS or to be an automatic text. So you can have the link of whatever it may be that you want the text code for. Text for updates, text to go onto your monthly newsletter campaigns. The newsletters would be a little bit harder only because we want to email. So I use landing pages for that, because you get the emails and that way they'll get the emails. But even if you're at an event, enter to win this month's drawing, whatever it may be, there's so many different ways that you can use those smart numbers and the text codes, and nobody in the office can have duplicates. So like if you have 5 offices, you have 5 smart numbers. So right. Multiple agents could have the same ones if they're with a different office. Otherwise, if I have buy me or info and another agent in that same office tries to recreate that text code, it'll just give them an error. That one's already taken. Note the same that happens with the Remax URL shortener or domain, anything like that. But there's definitely a lot of great ways that agents can get excited from the smart number versus getting confused. I just try to tell people, don't call it, don't text it.
Right.
Brokers, I would recommend, especially if you're not live yet or you're almost live, make sure you have your agents on a spreadsheet and you import your list attached to you. Make sure their cell phone numbers are on there, because if the cell phone number is attached to you in your database, when an agent calls from their cell phone number, it's attached to you and you will get all of those calls. That would be something, hindsight, I wish I would have done, is to upload my agents under the broker, because that became very confusing, because the agent sees a number that's not theirs and they keep calling it. And they're like, why does Sally Sue get everything? Why is she getting all the leads every time I call her? I'm like, well, because it's the first time you called, you took a lead rotation. Now you're in there as a lead attached to so-and-so, Sally Sue. So now every time you call, you're going to get the same agent. That's how you know the smart number actually works.
Yes. That's a great point, because someone just got furious thinking that all of their leads were going to this one agent, was ready to leave the office because they just didn't understand the technology. And that's exactly, oh, we're testing it. I'm like, no, don't stop testing the number.
Yeah.
Put
We
it
had
in
the
as a
same thing, and it
contact.
was an agent who uploaded their agent database because they always mass emailed for open houses. So they wanted to use the system. So they actually, it was even worse than just one agent because they had 5 agents call the number. But because as soon as we did research, I'm like, well, that's weird. You had 5 different agents call this and they all went to the same agent. But then we looked and she had uploaded, her entire database, and we looked, she has, everything labeled agents, for mass email. So she had everybody's cell phone in the system. So of course, when the agents were calling, they're all getting her because she was the only one that uploaded an agent database. So that was pretty interesting. I did not cover this yet. Definitely more advanced, but something that's a passion of mine. Squeeze pages and landing pages. On the kvCORE level, a squeeze page is basically you're doing a search for neighborhoods, listing, pool homes, whatever it may be, splash into your pool home in X city. You're basically doing doing a searches from your dashboard, but they're going to be labeled as they enter the system. So I do this like every week on a brokerage level for social, and we're doing different cities, different types of searches. So, but it's basically taking them to just the search on your website. A landing page is more of a gateway to information. So I'll give you this if you give me your email address. So think of landing page. You can certainly do with neighborhoods and stuff like that. I more use it for guides. So buyer's guide, seller guide, staging guide, relocation guide so far has been my number one way to build your pipeline. And honestly, it's still a work in progress. I use ChatGPT and just pretty graphics in Canva. I am sharing it as a website link from Canva. I just created a flyer, multiple pages, had ChatGPT, write me some area attractions, things to do, relocation guide, linked everything out. Make sure to put in, the government websites, school websites, just the important stuff. But it's an ongoing. I'm not finished with it yet. But I also found like tourism videos that I can slap in there, and I just basically share it as a website. So as I'm building in Canva, it's a live document. So whenever someone enters their information to get that, they're going to get the most recent version of it. So, and then they come back and always want to view it. It's not for download. I don't, well, it wasn't intended that way, but I didn't like the way the videos wouldn't share. And I was like, wait, I'm not done yet. I'm still building on it, but let's see what happens. Number one way to build the pipeline is that relocation guide. It's kind of mind blowing, but so think of that's really the difference between squeeze pages, pre-doing those searches for a consumer. I use them more for whether I'm running Google ads or sharing them social to help drive traffic back to my website. Eventually, it will, whatever your settings are. I believe on the squeeze pages, you can also determine the settings of lead. When you want that forced registration, I think the default's like 2 properties. But the landing page is immediate. It's a gateway. It's a pretty page, gateway to information. You want this, just send me your email and you have immediate access. So I know we'll be doing classes on that. I have tons of videos and stuff.
I'll probably do a pop-up too. Maybe I'll do a pop-up on that. I don't think I've done that yet. But yeah, to me, it's what you said. The squeeze page is the results of where they're going to go, and the landing page, they have to give you their email to get to the results. So to me, a squeeze page is typically the results of a search sitting on your website, and then the landing page, they have to give the info and then they get there. Yep. The squeeze page, you're just directing them right there, and then whatever registration you have, is fine. And I would recommend let people view a couple, like on the registration. I recommend force registration after like 2 or 3 views. I like 3, but I've been on so many sites that it takes me to the site and the registration pops up before I can even see anything. Like it won't even let me click on anything. And I'm just like out. I just leave. So I would recommend everybody change to let people get a breath, click on at least 1 or 2 things before that registration comes up. Otherwise, they're going to be like,
I like to think of it like fishing. Like throw it in, tease them a little bit, and then yank them out. And honestly, it also depends on if I'm paying for, if I'm running
Right.
Google Ads or something like that. I may, I'll put it for 2. I don't like to have it under 2 because I want them to get used to doing a search, to doing this, doing that. But I did want to, I'm going to try to share my screen super quick to show a difference, like just the relocation guide. Maybe share screen. I've got it over here, window.
And you have those great buyer and seller guides too, which I think are great.
Yeah, so this one's like e-guide. So these are all landing pages. So if I come over here and just click on this, I'll open up a new tab. So you will see the relocation guide. So there it is. And it kind of gives a teaser. And I love that about Canva when you're using the flyer template. It'll, like, if you want to print it, I just screenshot that. So somebody literally has to put in their email address. And now I just thought about it. I don't want to create a lead. So I'll do it here because I'm already a lead on her. So she has a different one, kind of same relocation guide. And I've done this so many times. So I'm already in her system as a generic lead that I do training on, but I want you to be able to see what it looks like. Basically just shared it as a web page straight from Canva. It has all the information. And this, the office, we already had this. So I just kind of branded it to her, but it just has local links, information, some videos, had ChatGPT, write me area attractions, things to do, linked it all out. Super easy. And you can build on it 1,000%. So, just having the different calls to action, I think they're great for generating leads, having that information available. And as you saw, like on the main company site, because I added it on the company site, all of those agents inherit those. They can, as you saw, like Chrissy has her own, but she's still that main office. Like that's how different they can make their sites. But it is nice out of the box. Everyone will automatically have that. And I am doing a class on squeeze pages and using Meta to schedule those out. Is my class next Thursday in the tech and tools and stuff like that. I can probably stream them in here too. But so I am doing that class next week. I've done a ton. I think I wanted to kind of go over, I don't know if we should go in the settings because we kind of talked a lot about it. More of an introduction. I wanted to show resources, if that's okay.
Yeah, I did have one thing that has come up, and you can kind of go where you want to go as I kind of clarify this. I've had folks ask, first of all, on the broker and admin, you can go to business analytics and you'll be able to see who's in lead rotation and if they've ever logged in, if they've started the agent quick start, which, I give homework. I teach an 8-week class and it's 2 hours a week. And each week they get a bunch of homework that they have to do, which reinforces the learning. But you're able to, go in and make sure that they're actually completing some things. The question I had for you that I didn't ask my Remax, if they've never logged in, there could still be in lead rotation. I guess you're going to want to monitor that, right? Because from remax.com or from the website, they could still get leads even if they've never logged in, if they're in rotation. So you may want to use that as a training tool to be like, listen, you're getting leads, so we need to make sure you've logged in, and you'll be able to see if they've never logged in. And those are the agents that we focus on. Like, hey, you've never logged into kvCORE. Would you like to learn more? So
yes, and it can be. I mean, and this one's a horrible example because this office doesn't really use, they have a different platform now. But going into agent success, seeing who's completed everything, who's done what, you can also go in like your source performance. If you're running ads, where are leads coming from, anything like that. There's a lot of information and that's all in your business analytics. But for sure, I try to tell agents and make sure on a company level, if you can see here, I've got my announcements. You can edit those, refresh them, anything like that. But you also have a company cloud.
That's
so you
big.
Can add links and add them to, stuff that makes sense for you, for your agents. You could add your MLS logins, like whatever it may be, add everything in here. so that to make it as easy as possible for agents to find everything. And I know one of my, 101, the first class, we're going to make sure they download, the mobile app. We're going to go into their profile, make sure all of that is correct. But definitely that agent quick start, that's like month one. And all the offices that we onboarded is like, as we're doing our weekly training, you have to finish this or you will not be, only those that complete it. And we have that certificate of completion. Those will be on lead rotation because you can edit that. And I'll tell you what, as that last week came about, everybody was finishing that. To me, it's just the nice basics, even if you do it together. I mean, you could do it in one hour. They're all very short videos, like, 4 to 8 minutes. It's just walking them through the steps of navigating and everything else. It's just the basics. And that's the thing, is you're not going to use everything that's available, but the Smart Guide is such a great way for agents to have that introduction to the system itself so that they can get excited or like about different parts that they want to use in the system. I mean, for sure. I mean, it's just let them help with that. And then you guys can all even learn together as you're learning the system. Whether you're watching any of the webinars together, you're doing those agent quick start guides together. If an agent has a question that you don't know, it's okay. I bet you if you go to Google and you type in kvCORE plus the question, kvCORE has more videos, support, training, everything. I guarantee you're going to find that answer in an article and videos explaining exactly what is going to help you answer any of those topics. I mean, that's because they've been around for so long. If I don't know, I Google, I just put kvCORE plus. I'm going to find the page on their support training. There's tons of trainings that kvCORE offers. There's not a ton of difference in the MAXTECH versus regular, independent kvCORE. The biggest thing is going to be our templates, which soon we'll have all those templates. And then even the IDX settings, right? Because there's a lot of boxes like, I don't know what any of this means. Like, well, they're for all the different templates. The hero will use this. And, so a lot of people like, I don't know what any of these do. It's like, well, not everything is for every template. But because we're getting those, then it'll make more sense. But definitely utilize the training that they have. I mean, other than the platform, the template, and our profile information that's pulling from MaxCenter, brokers and team leads, you have to manually add in all your social. That is not pulling over any. It did in January, and then it stopped. So I have to manually. They were initially there, and then they just disappeared. And I was like, what happened? It's like, well, we have to manually add them in our settings now. It's like, okay.
And are the team sites filtering down to the team members? Because I know that had stopped for a little bit. Has that? I haven't tested.
August 22nd, I have it in support. It's still at the top tier. It's supposed to. That broke at the end of August. That wasn't supposed to break, from what I know. I did just hear back from them last week that they haven't forgot about me, and they're still figuring out what happened.
Okay. So, there's one other big question that you probably know, and that's why I'm going to put it out here, because I get this a lot. We talk about the manual testimonials and we talk about Zillow. A lot of folks have Google. So in my mind, we should be able to create a custom widget that would have their Google reviews as source code or HTML, or I don't know. Is there
Google? I copy and paste. If somebody has over 50 on Zillow, I'll think Zillow. Otherwise, I copy paste manually. Only because I like the way that they display versus even the sync options. And that's what's going to give them that rotation on that homepage.
There's no way to create a link somewhere on their site that would take them to additional reviews somewhere.
I mean, you could. It won't be on that page, though.
No, but it would. Could it be on the navigation, like other testimonials? And then if they click it, it could take them somewhere, correct?
Yeah, you would just create a custom page, whatever you want to title it, Google reviews. And then you're going to put that Google reviews link instead of the body where you can add content. Just put that link and then it'll be under a page and you can add it to that top
And then
navigation.
okay, so that's a workaround there. I do
Or
have
you
a lot
can
of people.
create a graphic,
Okay.
read my Google reviews and add a custom widget. And the tip for the custom widget is I go in to create a blog that I never publish. I put the graphic in. I do make sure my graphics are less than 600 pixels wide so that it'll look okay on a mobile device, because remember our sites are mobile responsive. Graphics seem to work best with that. And then I copy the source code, go into the custom widget and paste that code there. So that's my workaround for that. Here, question here. I have 2 agents that are supposed to be in my team are not. I just ran into that this morning on a website I'm working on. Even though, and a question for you, 2-parter. One, I would definitely reach out to manager broker, make sure that they're listed in your, under as a team. 2, this morning, the team website I'm working on, I see the other agents should like, it's their website. Like, I see them on the team in the dashboard, but their photo and they're not on the roster. So my first thought on that is inside of your profile on MAXCenter, there is a button that people may click, not realizing that will hide them from public anything, meaning they're in remax.net. Intranet wise, agent to agent can find them, but they will not be publicly displayed anywhere. So that is my first thought, but I have to go to support. If somebody's on your team and they're not showing up, I mean, there could be twofold. One, that's done on a broker level, where you have to have a team created and they should be listed on there. So usually, you can ask your broker if that's the case. They should be able to log in and they can go to their teams. If they are on the team and you see them as the team leader, you see their websites and everything under your login, and it could be like mine, but they're not showing up. My first thought is they may have toggled that button off, but and I don't have a way to find that out because I only have information for the team lead, but I'm just going to email support to have them look into that. So
interesting. And then also service areas, for leads. Oh, we have a question. So
yes,
it's by that map now. And a lot of people didn't know that there was a lead map in MAXCenter that they can make sure the leads are circled. It's not driven by service area, is what I was told from Remax any longer.
No, it is going to be, if I come over to MAXCenter, and I'll share this, when you're under your profile and you go to update profile, let's pray it doesn't go and switching my accounts here, because it likes to do that because I'm in and out of today.
Me too.
I never know what's going to happen. Oh, stay one. So see, when I go to edit profile, this is where you have all your office information, office lead area. And just know, if you have multiple offices, you need to toggle through the offices to check each office lead area. I have found they're pretty accurate with whatever was defaulted there, but this is the only way to control the map area for this, for each office. So make sure you have to change the office, and you just move the little bullet points over, little maps and stuff like that for each of those office locations. Something else that's probably been a bigger issue is the Remax leads and rental leads. Like on an agent or office level, I don't have rentals selected at all. Like I just can't, like stop it, make it go away. So what I did do is, and I guess right now they can't really decipher rentals are like not a buyer or seller. So what we did is basically in the lead routing is we do have anything under 10,000 or rentals go to specific agents, because that way at least they're not going to be on the regular round robin, but at least then I just don't want my agents getting rental leads if they don't. So like put out a mass email to any agents like, hey, we're going to set up a separate lead rotation for rentals. If you want to be on it, let us know, and set that up and just put like under, I think 10,000 is the minimum. And then that way all of those will go to those, and it won't take up the mass, regular lead routing.
Yeah. And that's what we did. And that way people aren't ignored. I'm always afraid that if we keep ignoring the consumer, then they're just going to stop going to Remax. You know what I mean? So we did the same thing. We just did an all call. Who wants to take, because a lot of people have a good system or they work in property management. And so they're happy to build a pipeline from that. And our newer agents are building a pipeline. But that we did the same thing and it works great. And now everybody's happy. On their own website, they can determine what they want to even be displayed, but not on the remax.com and the office site. So that's
been my workaround for frustration, is let the agents that want that kind of stuff to get it. And then it's not taking away from regular lead rotation, because a lot of agents don't want, the rentals and stuff. So that would be more workaround on that. Let me see what other top questions. The core present. I know somebody had mentioned that, so I do just I would definitely, let me go over to core present really quick. Let me share that. Definitely do this with your agents. This is a great thing to be able to do the classes, the training. If I come over to marketing and I go to core present and I'm not in the account, I actually did one. There's so many awesome things that you can do. But you want to make sure to set up, have each doing this together. Is you're going to start in the upper right, where almost everywhere you go in the upper right will be videos, tutorials, help, whatever it may be. But you can personalize, go through, do this together. There's different templates, different options, all the different slides that Remax has available. Pick and choose which ones you want. Is it a luxury agent? Is it a commercial agent? They have it all. But you want to go through, personalize the about me, add in, I think you can add 3 testimonials, your branding, your secondary logos, whatever it may be. Do this together in the office, and then even have them set up themselves as a lead generating one. The tracking that you can do in this system is awesome. It has a heat map. When you send it out with the link, there's so many really, really awesome things. And that was a great idea. I've done a lot of classes, but I haven't done any videos particularly on core present. So I have that on my list to do that. And I'll make sure to share that in the group, because it is a really cool tool. And I really love the core present. And a lot of the offices, once we got done with that part, that was usually our last class, 8 weeks or whatever it may be. And then for a month, it was kind of like we wanted them to do a CMA a day, and then they had to use that hashtag, and we can follow all of that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Our stuff. So then we just $50. We did, the top 3. It's agents are very competitive, so do a graphic. The winner, they got a $50 gift card to Amazon. If you could also pay for a property boost, something that incorporates with the system. I just did a $50 Amazon card, and it's just agents are very competitive. So every week we would, have a winner board and let the agents know, because that reminds them hey, we have this competition going. And I would recommend doing a breakfast or a lunch at the office, having someone bring some food and learn it together, setting up their actual presentation. I find doing that in a group setting, it's because then agents, oh, well, I like this, or I like, it gets them excited about the different things that they can do with the system and everything. And then do the competition and just have that leaderboard for some reason. That gets crazy. Maybe a breakfast with the broker, just anything for accountability. And you can track all of that hashtag. So I just went in and created a search in the CRM for, CMA a day. And then I can track every single day who's actually doing that. And you can track it in the hashtags as well, the reporting. So definitely my biggest thing is getting everybody together and having accountability. I have that on my website. I put it in there, just my suggestions on the classes you could do each week, and different competition ideas for showing up on time, doing the homework, doing this, doing that, just fun stuff like that.
And I love that it's easy to find, part of my homework is you have to, put 10 market reports have to be set up, and you can search on anything. These filters are phenomenal. Like they'll have a filter for no market report, market report. And that way they can just click on the filter for no market report, and the whole list of people that comes up don't have a market report. So just do 2 a day. Put 2 people on, those people immediately get moved to the other filter of the ones that have it. So those filters are golden, especially as you're doing competitions and they're able to just prove stuff like, look, I have this many done, but they're able to just track and get right into the people that matter that they want to work with that day. So I think that's been one of my favorite features is the filters.
Yeah, because it's even, every agent runs their business differently. So by using the filters, even if, okay, I love the automatic birthday and home anniversary emails, but not everybody has a birthday. And it's like, so you set up, a filter for all of your sphere or closed with no birthday.
Yep.
And for me, that was my kids would come in. I could never leave them home alone together. So I had another desk in my office, and one of them was coming with me every day. My daughter probably did more Canvas stuff. My son was all kvCORE. So he would do all the SEO for agents, but he also would set up just here's my Facebook, go into my Facebook, do a search for this person, match everything. Facebook pretty much has everybody's birthday. I don't care what year they were born. I just care that there's a birthday in there. The same thing with your sphere, maybe past clients that don't have a physical address, because I want to be able to do the CMA a day. It'll pull everything over, go into the tax records. Here's the search, start searching the names and plugging that information in. Teenagers are awesome for helping you, especially we have Christmas break about to come. Give them something to do. And I will suggest if you are doing that, never pay by the hour, pay by the task, because these kids will be, have headphones, be on an iPad, a laptop, and doing work and watching TV all at the same time because, we'll both find we're very, I don't know, they're just overstimulated, but they can get work. But I always pay by the task, never by the hour, because they work differently than we do. So, but for sure to fill in the blanks, to me, it's time management. And I think that's December's class. You have to join me on December's class. The live class is helping using the CRM to get your contacts organized for 2024.
Wow, that's awesome.
Because that, for me, it's like my best. I absolutely love the filters on a broker level. I would be able to, if I'm running pay-per-click, I can have the hashtags for each pay-per-click because I run several different ones to be able to monitor results and modify as needed. So my settings, save searches are going to be each of the hashtags for the search, the lead gen that I'm running, what's working, what's not, because I can have the save filter for that month when I'm doing all the reports. That's what I would be able to, I have all my searches saved up like that. There's just so many different ways on our broker as well as on an agent level for using that entire CRM. It's a gold mine if you actually use all of those. And you don't have to have everything pinned.
Right.
I have a ton of saved searches, but the important ones I pin to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's just for all levels, that's your gold mine for sure. I'm glad you mentioned that because it is. But definitely, as you guys have watched this, I know we kind of hit on a little bit of everything, but I think we wanted to kind of do an intro, why we started the group. We're here to help you any way that we can. We both work on the broker and agent level inside of kvCORE. So we're just here to be a resource, bounce ideas off of. And really, we want this group to be able to collaborate and help each other through the rollout, through taking it to the next level, anything like that. So please reach out to us, post in the group what you want us to do. I have a ton of videos. Holly has a ton of videos. We're trying to post some in there. I've been slacking because it's been crazy with the rollouts and stuff. But definitely let us know how we can help you, what you want more on, and we will be there. We'll do Popeye live events. We'll upload videos, whatever we can do to help. For sure. That's what it's all about.
Yep. We are here to help, and we look forward to hearing your success stories too. If you're like, hey, I'd like to pop on and be a panelist and tell you what's working. We would love that. The more we can get from what's working out in the field and the adoption rates that you're seeing in your own office, we would love to hear the success stories. I think a lot of people need evidence of success before they jump in. I find a lot of people are like that. And a lot of people had hesitation, especially the ones that, utilized Booge or had Booge, just because it's like, oh, here we go again. And they need to know that we do not own this product. It has been around for a long time. They've actually just bought Boomtown. They bought Brokerman, I think. Like, they're a big company. So we do not own them. We have a long-term commitment. So let's make the most of this. And hopefully it'll be an even longer term commitment that we end up keeping and moving forward with kvCORE.
I agree. So thank you everyone for joining, and definitely just keep engaged and let us know how we can help each other. All right. Bye guys.
Bye. Thank